so looks like we're just waiting on this to catch up. Should be going live in a second here. There we go. Alright, cool. Let's give it a second to catch up there. Let's go live on IG. Alright, so give IG a second to get in.
We're live there. We're live there.
Live on YouTube right now, yeah.
Live on YouTube.
Let's go, everybody. Michael from Airsoft GI. Got Frank in the house from Classic Army. Good to have you back, man.
Frank,
Always,
Army. Yeah.
always fun to have you in the house.
Yes, sir.
So, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. We're going to be discussing some things like the X9, a few other products from Classic Army that they just came out with, as well as we got a few promos going on. We still have our Memorial Day mystery box. Got a few of those left. Make sure you snag one of those. Anytime you place an order online, you'll also receive a free mystery gift. Could be anything like a shirt, patch, it could even be a gun. You know, you could get like a Elite Force Glock. You can even get a Classic Army microgun as well. So there's a lot of good things you can get from the mystery gift system as well.
Free is always good.
Free is definitely always good. What else do we got going on? I think that's pretty much it as far as promos go. Oh, we do have a new mystery box going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're a tech, aspiring to be a tech, or if you're a seasoned tech like Frank is here, and you're looking for the next project gun, definitely check that out. A lot of open box stuff that we sent to YouTube personalities, trade shows, or even stuff that we just can't sell as new anymore is definitely be included in that. So if you're looking for a new project gun, definitely check that mystery box out going live tomorrow. There's only going to be 70 of them selling for $69.99, so you definitely check that out.
70, huh?
Yeah,
What kind of stuff's in that?
Got like full metal guns, some older CA Apex guns.
You got some Classic Army stuff on you too.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Older like some older KH stuff that I can't exactly say on camera, but some good stuff is in there. I promise you guys. All right, so Frank, now you guys just got in the production sample. You already sent us our 15th anniversary, but we got the regular one here that you brought by. Tell us a little bit what you guys did differently with these as opposed to some of the older Nemesis line.
Okay, so to start off, this is just a production sample. The flash hider is actually going to be a little bit different, so you guys don't worry too much about that. But this is our working sample. We got a new gear set in there right now. I think up until the newest Nemesis models, which was a release of 3 earlier this year with the new BAS stock. I think the weakest link that we found inside the Nemesis, if any, at this point, would be the gear set. That's the last kind of like piece of the puzzle that I want to have changed, so it'll actually continue to perform at the rate of fire we've been showing off on our social media and stuff like that. So at basically the quote unquote red line on the gun, which was on any kind of like a 20C battery. I mean, the Nemesis now are capable of reaching about 25 to 26 BBs a second out of the box. So, like I said, when you're starting to climb to that kind of rate of fire and above, anything that may happen, like a bad BB or something like that, first thing to go would be normally like a piston or a gear set. However, we have full racked metal rack tooth pistons now, so the next thing that's going to go would be one of the gear sets. So.
Okay. Now you said you changed the gear set a bit. Is it a different ratio that you guys went with? Different material?
It's still 18 to 7.72 ratio, so it's considered.
It's about standard ratio.
It's like standard ratio, yeah. But the change was mostly in the material. We're moving to a steel CNC wire cut gear set instead of the traditional sintered metal gears that we normally use in classic Nemesis.
Okay, cool. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen our 15th anniversary. Same concept, URX rail up front. All right, here, let me scoot this over for you guys over on Instagram.
I can't see over there.
There you go. So, rear end, you got this really spacious PW stock. You guys did a great job designing this. You got a lot more room than most other PW stock I've seen. I think this probably has the most room out of any PW stock on the market right now.
Yeah.
More than like the 416 stocks, the ARP9 stocks. I think even the Amoeba stocks don't have as much room as these guys do. And then you move up a bit, and then on the standard X9, you'll be able to get this any distributor, not just us, right? This is the standard.
Yeah. So
okay. So flash hider's gonna be different?
Flash hider is gonna be different. So
okay.
This one is just, to get it over here, then you have to get one of those flash hiders onto it.
So everywhere you're gonna be able to get the 2-inch M-lock rail up front. Personally, 2-inch rails are tiny for me, so I got to go with the little bit longer one. On ours, you're going to be getting the 7-inch URX rail.
Yeah, it's going to be a 7-inch, 7 or 8-inch URX rail.
Yeah, so 7 or 8-inch URX rail, so you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck, or not really bang. You get a little more. What's the word I'm looking for?
What?
A little bit more. It's easier to manipulate, or.
Well, you get a little bit more real estate. Shooting the little AR pistol is kind of funny, especially on an airsoft gun, because there's been a few times where when I went to grab hold of kind of like the rail system and wrap my my hands around it and start shooting. There's a few times that my finger was starting to kind of linger in front of the flash hider a bit. I had to be a little bit careful. So yeah, definitely with the shorter barrels like this, you got to be a little bit more careful when you're attempting to fire or get into a panic situation, because you might actually shoot yourself. But on the other hand, it's very, very maneuverable, especially when you're playing CQB and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. Practice makes perfect when manipulating anything, not just a shorter barreled AR style. You can always go with the hand stop too. That always help out. So I think we pretty much covered everything we needed to cover. We'll go and start taking questions from you guys now. Let's see here from IG. If you guys got any questions, feel free to go ahead and start shooting those away. It could be for me, for Frank.
I was kind of poking through that. Somebody said we weren't paying attention. Yeah, we're kind of going through our little spiel on the Nemesis X9 here. Mighty_Inkies,
if you're having a problem with your charging helm spring for your combat machine, definitely can help you out in the store. I'm sure we have plenty lying around.
That's not a question for me.
How did it explode? I don't know what you mean by that. The only recruit main, cheapest gun, most functional. Cheapest, most functional gun. I'd say regardless of what you get, spend at least $100. The Apex Fast Attack series, the polymer lines start at like 100, 110, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get one of those, and it can keep up with any gun out there on the field. It's not going to be, a top-end $1,000 custom gun by any means, but you're definitely not going to be outgunned with something like that. And then you do get a flat trigger with it, as well as a 25K motor, which is going to get you really good trigger response, as well as really healthy rate of fire.
Yeah, and those are the classic Army motors too. So you're not, getting some no-name brand. You don't know where the motor's coming from. The next step up from like the Apex Fast Attacks would be like the ECS skirmish line at about 185, I believe.
Yeah, that's what we're
selling for. Yeah, and they come with a battery and charger. But more importantly, the ECS skirmish line is actually a sub $200 all polymer airsoft gun, but it actually retains some of the functions of the higher end Nemesis and the Scarab. So the reason why it's the ECS skirmish is because it comes with the same ECS programmable trigger that the higher end classic armies come with. So if you guys weren't really sure what the ECS system is it's a digital trigger that is 5-way programmable, and you can program it through the trigger. So you flip it over to semi, you can cycle through, hold the trigger, get into the programming mode, and you can cycle through 5 different modes of fire.
Yeah, it's
you can do that kind of like on the field, on the fly.
Yeah,
too,
it's a very easy system to learn. It took me all of 2 minutes to learn how to do the entire thing.
It doesn't even take 2 minutes, Mike. It takes a couple seconds.
Hey man, I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Okay.
Let's see here. Do you guys have the MK18?
MK18s are being worked on. Number one, a lot of our pro line rifles, especially anything with like a version 2 gearbox, is gonna eventually switch over to an ECS system, just like the Nemesis and the ECS skirmish line. So we're working on that, and we're also working on like getting more of the MK18 rails too, so we can actually start building those out. However, the price is actually going to change. They're not going to stay the same price as before, what you guys had. Yeah, what was available to everybody before. So we're still waiting on details on that.
Let's see here. What do you guys think of the Lancer Tactical LT19 Gen 2? It works. I know it's your competitor, but what he says is
no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, those are kind of like in the same class as our Apex Fast Attacks. So they're going to be great, quote unquote, Well, we didn't like using the beginner guns there, right? Because it was just kind of like it would cheapen the product because it wasn't really like a cheap beginner gun.
Yeah, it's a affordable beginner gun.
Yeah, so I mean they're both in the same classes. It's very affordable to get you into the hobby.
Yeah,
if you didn't really have too much cheddar to throw into these.
It's one of those guns where it's like if you want to try it but you don't want to spend a lot of money, it's the best option to go with. Personally, I go with Apex because you do get that flat trigger. I prefer flat triggers. I don't know if that's your thing or not, but you also do get a better motor as well.
Yeah, you get the better motor also. I mean, that's the main thing. And then again, with the new 3-prong flash hiders that we have also, to assist, like our customers out there that want to kind of start modding their guns, but they don't really. I mean, once you crack the orange flash hiders off of any airsoft gun, you generally lose the warranty on that.
At least from us too. So.
Yeah, it's pretty much from every manufacturer. So, I mean, we actually designed a barrel extension that will fit right over our plastic flash hiders. So,
awesome.
The classic armies, so that'll cover all of the new classic army AEGs and also our Apex Fast Attack AEGs. We'll have the same flash hider.
Awesome. And then those are on our website for about $20 right now. You can get those, and they're the Classic Army QD Fast Attack suppressors. We got some questions from YouTube as well. Will the release date be the ETA, or is there another delay for the X9? I think right now our ETA listed on our website is July 15th.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
So, in general, especially with Airsoft, all the ETAs are really just estimated because anything can happen. Our container might actually get stuck at port, so it all depends,
No, yeah, like they're...
Yeah, but I mean, in general, we're still on target for that July 15th.
Awesome.
Kind of like, it's going to be plus or minus.
Yeah, as you guys know, this year's been really tough on product ETAs in the airsoft industry in general. I don't know how many complaints I heard about Glocks getting pushed back, or even some other products too. But they're making sure that they're putting out a great product. We don't want to put our name on something that isn't going to be perfect. Yeah. So we're okay with a little bit of delay on the products, but we understand the frustration. We're consumers too. But sometimes you just gotta wait for the right product.
Yeah, I mean, originally it got pushed back because that gear set I wanted to go into the X9. So, I mean, it's an upgrade. Like you guys want better parts, you're willing to wait a little bit more.
Yeah,
I mean, you get a better platform just to begin with. And then that's less work you need to worry about. Less, it'll actually survive BB jams. It is what it is. Because. We all know that we tell everybody over and over again, use good BBs, and they don't use good. People out there don't use good BBs, so
avoid like big sporting goods stores like Big Five, Dick's. Not to try to put anyone on blast or anything, but they don't carry the best product, or they don't carry the best BBs. If you want some quality, Classic Army sells their own line of BBs now. Those are really good BBs. I personally use them in all my guns. I haven't had any issues with them. Pretty much anything that we sell on our website, you're good to go with. Avoid .12s. We carry those because
.12s and .15s.
Yeah,
those are for springers. Yeah, spring pistols. Yeah, $5-10 spring pistols.
Anything under a .20, just don't even bother with in something like this. And then I had somebody ask on YouTube, how much does the X9 weigh? What do you think that weighs? Maybe 4, maybe 5 pounds?
Say 6 to 7.
I think it's 7 pounds.
Since the full size, I don't know. Maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 pounds in this configuration. Our configuration will probably be a little bit heavier because you do have a longer rail on that. Let's see what's going on Elite Force, or on not Elite Force, on IG. What do you think of the Jagarm Scattergun Gen 2? I think they're awesome. They fixed the leaking issues that were in them that kind of plagued the first generation that gave them a bad name to begin with. Do you have any opinion on the Jag Scatterguns?
I actually haven't shot them, but I mean, a gas 3-burst, 5-burst shotgun for like not $300 something. I mean,
I was a sucker that paid $350 for a TN.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
And then you can get the completely decked out ones for like $275 at most. Let's see here. Natural Mahogany, I'll check your DM after this. Got the Elite Force Glock 19. Congratulations on that. Dual M4, what's going on with the DT4? I think is what
that is still in development. I believe they were setting up the actual mode for the receivers. and they're still developing the piston system,
Okay.
and trying to figure out still what ratio, and it's testing.
Okay. Do you have, what kind of detail can you go into on that? Can you go into detail on that, or is that something not really
As of
talk
right
about?
now, they're still, like I said, they're still working on the molds, the production, molds
Okay.
for the receivers, right? Because the sample that we had was kind of like a one-off build. So,
Okay.
yeah, that one was actually a complete CNC, upper and lower.
Call
Well,
sign
actually-
Wolfman from YouTube. Dual on 4 can be done. Yes, it has been done. We had a working prototype in here earlier this year.
Yeah, look at Classic Army. Yeah, check out our social medias. We had some videos. I think Greg Wong filmed the video, and
Yeah,
you guys filmed
we
the
did
video.
a video. I did a video with Greg Wong earlier this year, and we took it to Desert Fox Events, Battle for Los Angeles, earlier in February when we had that here, just before SHOT Show, and that thing was pulling all the attention away from the X9. It was definitely an awesome gun to use, and I'm sorry to offend if I do, but at first I thought it was a complete joke.
Offend.
But then it completely kicked ass, and I was like, I need to buy one of
Well,
these.
that was everybody's reaction, right? Because we seen the Wii double barrel pistols and stuff like that. That kind of worked, kind of didn't work.
Mhm.
It had like a weird trigger thing. Yeah, I don't know. So when I was originally told about the DT4, I was just like, what? Why? Why would we? Well, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. And I think the more and more pictures I started seeing of the rifle, I was like, this one might actually surprise us.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. We got the sample, and we started kind of like showing it off, and at least getting it out to like, at least a few events that you guys took them to, and then at SHOT Show, it actually got some pretty, definitely turned some heads. But outside of that, once you fire an airsoft gun, holding one grip, pulling one trigger, and you see two BBs flying out side by side, downrange, it's like, oh wow, that's kind of cool.
That's probably one of the coolest experience I've had this year as far as airsoft goes.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my best airsoft experiences I've had since I started playing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot different, and
Yeah.
it's in the form of an AEG too, not a gas blowback pistol, so it's gonna, it's gonna be different.
Yeah, and it's not some stupid thing where you have to pull two triggers. It's one trigger, one gearbox going off, sending 2 rounds down range. It is awesome, really.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Mark Greenway from YouTube. Do you think your new gun is laid at the table as we have the Evo Vector and ARP9? Is there any room for the Classic Arm in the SMG market? Absolutely, there's room in the SMG market. I mean, there's always room in the market for anything new, really.
Because the Scorpion Evo is kind of like its own little beast, right? I guess it's it's electronically controlled, similar to the Nemesis X9, but it's Scorpion's Evo. Not everybody is kind of like into the Scorpion Evo or the CZ look of firearms. So that's kind of its own thing. Now the Chris Vector, again, that's also its own thing.
Yeah.
It's not comparable to anything out there. And realistically, how many Vectors do you see? You see them in movies, you see them out, and you see them in anime. But who is really out there using the Vectors, right? A few security companies. I'm not even sure how many countries are actually physically using the Vector.
Yeah. The Vector didn't pass the LAPD SWAT test, and that's saying something.
It's a cool gun. I won't deny it. It looks really, really innovative, but again, as far as manipulation and stuff like that out there, because you guys got to remember, I shoot competitions. I shoot USPSA, and I actually started shooting the PCC class. So I'm out there and I'm seeing guys using the Scorpions on. This is the real firearm side. There's guys using Scorpions. There's guys using MPXs. A lot of guys using 9mm AR carbine, platform, and a few guys using the Vector. Well, at least what I noticed with the Vector guys is the manipulation is kind of weird, right? The guys aren't as fast manipulating the carbine as they're trying to get through the force of fire. You know, and then of course now we got, you know, our standard AR style platform 9mm, which is, you know, the most widely used 9mm carbine, at least in U.S. today, especially in the competition world. So, I mean, between X9 and the ARP9, I mean, that's simple. ARP9 is a polymer gun. Yeah. You know, the Nemesis is metal. You know.
Yeah. Personally, I prefer metal guns, so I'd go with the X9 just based on that. Another thing too is you get much more battery compartment space in the ARP9 as opposed to the G&G. I don't know why G&G put their MOSFET in the stock tube as well. It just takes up room that you don't have. And these guys,
I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen some of the videos, right? But I mean, this is how easy it is to get into the battery compartment.
Yeah.
You know?
It's literally right there.
It's right there, and then you have all this room in here.
I think it's a 1200 milliamp
hey,
battery.
One of my batteries. Yeah, I mean, you got quite a bit more room, and that was one of the other problems with the Nemesis originally was the battery capacity was really bad.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, one of the things that we're pushing for is, hey, let's get a new PDW stock designed for the Nemesis, especially the X9 moving forward. You know, so you know the battery capacity actually, you know, in the PDW stock becomes kind of like a selling point instead of kind of like, well, you know, that's what I don't like about the Nemesis.
Yeah, and this is actually a really comfortable stock to shoulder too. You got cheek space all along the entire thing because it's not like where it's chopped right here and then you just have all this empty space. You can shoulder it pretty much any point. Somebody asked, what's the price point for the Nemesis X9? These are going for $280, right?
Yeah. So that was the initial price that we kind of like had set. However, you know, once everything is squared away, there may be some changes to pricing too. So, as of right now, we're sticking to kind of like the price we gave everybody for pre-order. So just in case, because the changes that I wanted to have done to the guns actually is supposed to boost the cost of the guns. So, so obviously, because we're getting better parts in it now. So
yeah. So. Somebody else had asked, is the original PW stock being phased out and discontinued?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you know, you can comfortably fit a Tenergy 7.4 1,000 milliamp battery. The 11.1 was
a pain
in the butt to get into it.
Like
Yeah.
You had to you had to rewire to D's.
Yeah.
And then you had to cut the wiring way short just to give yourself some kind of room without having to buy an extension.
Yeah, you would need that wiring to be short. Because you need to, and you would actually should shorten the wires on the batteries too, and make it a lot easier to install as well.
Is the X9 receiver going to be utilized in more than one model, or is it a one-off thing?
Yes. So the X9 upper can be used on both the Pro lines and the Nemesis. So if you already have a Pro line or a Nemesis right now, you decide to get an X9, you will be able to interchange the upper receivers.
Awesome. So I already have an LX13. I got that not too long ago. I'm in love with the thing. I need you to do some work on it because I've seen some of the stuff you've done. And I got the LX13. I think that'd be a little long for this particular. It'd look a little weird, but I actually have seen some of these with different uppers on it, and I think outside of our special edition, I think the ME10 upper looks best on here. That's my personal opinion. I don't know about you. But
well, see, here's the thing. The rifle that I use for competition is a 16-inch rail. No, I'm sorry. No, it's a 15-inch rail with a 16-inch barrel, and a standard collapsible stock. So that's what I'm used to seeing and working with on a 9mm, on a Car 9. So it's not going to look weird to me at all if it had like a longer upper. It would just be exactly what I use for competition. And I could potentially set one of these up to allow me to train for competitions.
No, yeah, I know you're really big on cross compatibility as far as training goes. I think we even have an older video of you on Uncut where you're showing us like a high kappa build that mimicked one of your 2011s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I can definitely see the use of it. Somebody asked, should I get an Elite Force M4 or an X9? It's X9, not even a question. I mean,
well, if you ask me, you got to go with the Nemesis X9.
It's not even a question. It depends on what you're really looking at. If you're talking like an Avalon Elite Force M4 versus an X9. They're two completely different guns, and I can't say you can honestly compare the two of them. Personally, I'd still go with the X9 though, because you do get the ECS trigger system in it, and that's probably the biggest selling point for me. It's literally one of my favorite systems that you can get, and you're getting pretty much gate time performance out of the box, and you're spending maybe $100 more for the entire package than just a MOSFET that you still have to install into a gun.
Well, I mean, and just to kind of add to that, you guys recently filmed something where we put our Nemesis X9 that I brought you, you know, across the board with all the other kind of like comparable airsoft guns. I mean, how did that work out?
We actually didn't use the X9 on that one. Used
no, I'm sorry. We used one of the Nemesis. Yeah.
It was the LX13.
So we used the Nemesis Rifle.
So
that's right.
He was nice enough to donate us a brand new LX13 straight out of the box, and it performed phenomenally against 4 of the other big competitors in the industry. We put it up against the Avalon, Crytek LVOA, a KWA Ronin, and a G&G TR16, and you know, it performed very well. It wasn't number 1, I'm sorry to say that, but it was actually way up there. So I'm not going to say where it was specifically.
What ended up being number 1?
I can't say that just yet. It's going to be dropping.
Oh, you guys didn't release the video yet?
We haven't released the video yet, yeah. We filmed it, but it hasn't been released yet. That should be dropping not next week, but the week after that. So stay tuned for that.
Hey, not number 1.
It's not number 1.
See, that means I got more work to do.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to a number 1.
So the reason we do all those is to push manufacturers to put out better products for you guys. So if you have one clear number 1 and nobody else is trying to compete, then what's the point? But if you have up to 5 companies that can potentially fight for a number 1 spot, it drives competition, it drives innovation, and creates better overall products. So let's see here. And you got to remember, my wasn't the one who made the choice. You can talk to Adam from Major League Airsoft about that. I didn't make the choice about number 1. That was Adam.
Hey, look, you know, I mean, if I wanted to skew these reviews like that, then I mean, I could have just, you know, put all kinds of crazy parts and stuff. But these are straight out the box, side by side comparison. So,
and at that point, it's a custom gun, so that's a different comparison to make.
I mean, I could have cheated, you know, but I mean, what does that leave everybody, right?
I want to see a Frank Chu custom versus like an OC Airsoft custom, because he makes some dope guns, but I know you're a great kit tech yourself. Best M14 AG. That's someone I had Country Bohems 1 ask.
Well, you only have, what, 4 choices, realistically. You have whatever Seema's making.
Which is a TM clone.
You have a TM, you have the Classic Army, and you have the G&G. Yeah, I'm biased. Classic Army.
Yeah, so the Classic Army and the G&G use the same design, if I'm not mistaken.
Similar design. Similar designs, yeah.
So, if you're looking for straight range, then, and you don't care about FPS, TM is the way to go, but good luck finding a new TM M14. If you're talking regularly produced now, then yeah, I'd go with the Classic Army also. You do get a little bit more reliable gearbox. Any plans on revamping that line a bit, like your M4 line, or is that kind of hold where that's at?
That one's gonna be a little bit further down the list because it's that mech box only supports 1 model. You know, so the changeover is gonna go with models that are more widely used. That's why I said originally it's going to be mostly the version 2s first, because that's what we're kind of using already. It's already starting to kind of float into our other lines. So
let's see here. What's a good starting sniper rifle? M24 from
M24s.
These guys.
Yeah.
Originally they weren't as VSR 10 friendly as some of us would have liked.
Well, no. Okay, so
I'm gonna let you explain that.
Originally, like the cylinder kit has always been compatible. The hop-up unit is, the barrels are a little bit undersized, so that's going to be a little bit different. That actually hasn't changed. Before, a VSR 10 trigger box and trigger set would work, but you would have had to drill and tap your own hole in the receiver. I think I came over here and did a video with you guys too. It's kind of like showing what everything was. So it wasn't directly or fully VSR 10 compatible. Now it's a lot easier to get VSR 10 because we did pre-drill and tap the holes. So I've been trying to get the information out there. If you're going to stay with the Classic Army M24 system, you're going to have to use all the Classic Army M24 stuff, right? Because the piston is still a 90-degree engagement. It still retains its own trigger box and sear set. If you had to use VSR 10 parts, because let's say, for example, some of you guys didn't like Action Army parts, which I don't really know why, because they make great products. And you had to say use Laylax VSR 10 parts, then you would have to go all VSR 10. And we're mainly talking about the cylinder and the trigger box. The hop-up unit, unfortunately right now, Action Army is the only company that makes a hop-up unit, but they also make all the other parts to upgrade your Classic Army M24s. So the compatibility of VSR 10 parts is less of an issue now, because we have, we've been working with Action Army to have a line of parts available for our M24s. So in a pinch, yes, you can use VSR 10 parts. Let's say your local store that you go to doesn't carry Action Army parts, but they carry a variation of VSR 10 parts. You still have a way to upgrade. So right now, basically, you have two ways you can upgrade the gun. You can go two different routes.
Yeah. We just had someone ask, what's your opinion on the Novridge SSG-24?
I have actually personally not shot one of those, because I haven't had one come through and drop into my lap. So
yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, I've never experienced this, so I'm not gonna. I can't really give any honest opinions about it.
I fired it once using some ASG 40 BBs, and it got really good range. It's nothing compared to his actual personal VSR 10 or something that he's gotten his hands on, because that dude is a whiz when it comes to bolt action guns. But it definitely is a really good performer. But I'm not a sniper enough to say it's worth dropping $400 or $500 on a bolt gun. But that's just me.
Well, it has some stuff that's specifically kind of like his products, right? I think like the hop-up arm or something.
Yeah,
like
the arm, bucking, and I think the sear set are his original parts. Mm-hmm. But the rest of it, I think, is EDGI rebranded, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
I could be wrong on that, but
I forgot. Somebody was building those for him or OEMing them, and he was like supplying the parts. So it's going to be like a similar situation as our Apex Fast Attacks, where that one is not coming out of the Apex Fast Attacks don't come out of the Classic Army factory. Those come out of an OEM factory, but Classic Army does supply some of the parts to make ours a little bit different and better than just say all the other similar guns out there coming out of the same factory.
Mighty_Inkies, hey, are you guys doing another event at the first time people get 10 seconds to grab gun?
How did that go, by the way?
It actually was a lot of fun.
Did you guys film it?
Yeah, we did. We'll go ahead and we should be posting that up pretty soon here. Or we'll post it to promote the next sale going on. But nothing's set in stone yet. It shouldn't be too long before the next one, though. We'll definitely announce that.
Was 10 seconds enough time for them to... What were they actually doing? Like, were the people standing there, or they were trying to run around to see what they wanted?
We let them into the gate, and we explained everything to them. Like, okay, you got this much time to go. And at that point, they just kind of like chickens with their heads cut off for like 3 seconds. And then they just made a mad dash for the nearest gun to just grab something. So it was fun watching them do it.
Yeah, because 10 seconds you would think, oh, that's plenty of time. You run in a couple seconds, you look, but no, you got to kind of know what you're going after. You guys didn't have like a microgun out there, did you?
We did not have a microgun out there.
I was going to say, that would have been an easy pick.
No, that would have been too easy. We would have had a fight on our hands for that. Let's see here.
That would be interesting.
Jason_Pelster, edgy OEM the parts for Novridge. Okay, so they OEM the parts for his kits, not for the SSG-24. My mistake on that one. Velsky, any plans to expand the CA-870 line, or is that being phased out?
The shotgun, if we were gonna the current 870 line is just gonna stay the way it is, right? Because if the factory is gonna start to kind of like develop or upgrade the shotgun, then we might as well at the same time say, okay, we want it to be a 3 burst, right? Or You know, we want to make it magazine fed or whatever. So we're gonna change. We would be potentially changing it up that way. But as far as right now, there are no plans to do anything else with the shotgun line. But we have kicked around the idea of doing a 3-burst shotgun.
Okay. I think it'd be awesome to see a 3-burst with your guys' build quality on those. So, question from YouTube: Ninja Cat Plays. What is the best GBBR out there? I know that's not your market, so you're not gonna be biased here. Or you're not into gas blowback rifles?
Well, personally, I have experience with Western Arms.
Very good system.
King Arms, which is a clone of the Western Arms, and the KWA Allen 4s. Anything outside of that, I really haven't been able to touch. Right.
Okay.
The Wii stuff was kind of like untouchable, at least for me. And, you know, back then, why? Because those receivers were
awfully close to 80%ers.
very, very close. Dangerously
But,
close. Yeah.
That's
a great way to put it. They're very dangerously close to being. Yeah.
If you're on a budget,
But sorry, I kind of started around.
No,
But yeah, I like the KWA Allen 4s.
yeah, I was actually about to say the same thing. If you're on a budget, Allen 4 is the way to go. If you have the money for it and you can find it, go with a Western Arms, but those are relics now. PTS Meg Arms, that's just a rebranded Allen 4.
That's also, yeah, that's still KWA built.
E&L AK-74s, what do you think about E&L AKs?
I think the Gen 2s were better. The Gen 1s I really didn't like.
External wise, Gen 1, Gen 2 were beautiful, both of them.
E&L external wise, they look great.
And internals wise, yeah, the Gen 1s are
something to be desired.
Yeah, Gen 2s though, they definitely made a few improvements here and there. I know they changed the piston material, they changed the hop-up unit, and then they added a stopper plate so that way you can load your mags properly every single time.
Oh, so. I think one of the major problems was the mags, right? When you're trying to load the mags, you would miss the latch.
And then you break your feed lips off.
Yeah, and then
so I know a few people that have done that in high stress situations.
Remember that.
Let's see here.
Do we have anything coming through on?
And let's see here.
YouTube? Or not really?
Not really too much. We had someone ask Umbrella Army or KWA. I mean, you're talking stock gun versus a full blown out custom gun. I don't think there's a comparison there.
Yeah, you can't really. Yeah, that's like.
Chase Boyer and Ghost Airsoft. How much is that gun? This gun's $280. You can find it on our website. Pre-order right now. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay on YouTube, so they'll catch up on that in a second. Elite Force 1911 Tack. Any opinions on that?
It's a CO2 1911.
CO2 1911. That's
a great.
It works.
Great pistol, yeah.
GMP Walk. I owned a Walk back in the day. It's just another Western Arms copy.
It's a GMP. Oh, is that the GMP gas blowback? Yeah, that's a Western Arms copy.
Yeah, it's literally Western Arms official copy is what Walk stands for.
You know, it's kind of funny, right? Anytime someone comes out with a system, example Western Arms, and then the first one to clone that system was King Arms, I think.
GMP. King Arms was the first one to make a.
Well, did GMP do it?
GMP did it first, and then King Arms did the first U.S. approved.
As far as I knew, or as far as I remember, the GMP and the King Arms, they both actually, to a certain degree, inherited the clone through the cloning process the issues that the Western Arms gas blowback rifles had.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, right? It's like, okay, when you're trying to do this, like, if you already know that, you know, the gun you're copying has these issues, like, you should try to fix these issues. But
you should, but when you're also slashing the price by 60%, you kind of turn the other way on those issues. But some people like to not put pride in their work. KGW KCO2, I love my KCO2. Have you ever messed with one of those?
Those are the KCO2s.
The 1022 gas blowback rifle.
1022. Oh, I remember those back then.
They're stupid accurate, and they're not popular in the U.S. for one reason or another. I don't know why, but in like the UK and Germany or yeah, UK and Germany specifically, they're very popular. Like, I don't know how many aftermarket parts you can get, but there's a lot of aftermarket support outside the US. I don't know why they're not popular in the US. What have you changed in Gen 2 of the KM12 and ML12? It's just, they have ECS units.
Okay. Yes, now we can go into that spiel. So the changes to the original skirmish line is the ECS system, which also brings with it the same gearbox that is in the Nemesis and the Scarab. So it's actually a stronger gearbox. The motors went from a generic classic Army motor to one of the older 23K Proline motors. We added the flat triggers in them and the toolless motor grips, right?
Those are great. Those are great.
The toolless motor grip, right? If anything happens, gun automatically, it just goes dead on the field. You pop that open via the little latch here, and you can pop it open to check to see if your wires are still connected or not. You know, if they aren't, plug it in, close it right back up, snaps right in place. Zap, zap, back working. You know, you don't have to come off the field. Yeah, so it's picked up some of the features that the higher end Nemesis has. I think later on this year, maybe next year, there's going to be a version of the ambi charging handles that are going to come on them. Cool. And
is that going to be for any AEG, or is that specifically for the ECS?
ECS.
Okay.
ECS, because I did see a sample come across me on my desk.
Awesome.
For that.
And then Brandon Carr, how do you feel about the Classic Army Nemesis? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's directed at me, being the Classic Army Man himself here. They're awesome systems. I absolutely love the ECS trigger system. It's very snappy, really good rate of fire too out of the box. So on a level 1, you're hitting 25, 26 rounds a second. You get great range too. You're coming stock with the 603 as well, so you're getting better range than most other guns at that length. John Sauter, TF is a TDC hop up unit. It's a top dead center mod. So you tap a hole up here and you use a little grub screw to adjust your hop up, as opposed to using your traditional wheel to adjust your hop up arm. A&K PTW, don't waste your money on an A&K and PTW. If you're spending $400 on a rifle, get a Nemesis. Best CO2 Gu Pistol for beginner airsoft with a budget of $200. Go with the Elite Force 1911. Can't go wrong with those.
That's a generous budget for a beginner. CO2 pistol.
Yeah. What is your favorite anime? I'm not really into anime. Are you?
Macross.
There you go.
But that's also probably the only anime.
What's the gun right above your head? One right above my head is this 416 right here. That is a really old custom gun. Did you build that, or was that?
No, I didn't build that. No, I will not take responsibility for that. Who at the time?
Do you want to throw anybody under the bus right now?
Jason Hills.
Shout out Jason Hills. It's reliable with Elite Force 8er. Is very reliable in custom. Yeah, you're right. The Elite Force 8er is pretty reliable. Can we see the gun he has in his hands? Wait.
What hands?
I would guess.
Whoa.
That one?
Instagram. The Nemesis X9.
Nemesis X9. You can pre-order them right now, $280 on our website. Let's see here.
We should probably change this around.
No, but then YouTube can't see it. Think about the Gbbr M4. There's so many, or think about KJ Gbbr M4s. I don't have any experience with the KJ M4s. I mean,
I haven't either.
Yeah, so I can't even honest opinion on that. I'm sorry. Let's see what's going on. What is the lowest price gun you have that's about 400 FPS and good? The Fast Attack series. Started at $100, $110, somewhere around there. I forget the exact number.
Apex Fast Tax.
Ghost Airsoft, hate order, $250 worth of stuff. What is my mystery item? I don't know. It's one of the warehouse workers grabs a random one out of a bin.
Well, you can't really ask what the mystery item is because it's a mystery.
I seriously don't know what your mystery gift is going to be. Like, all I know is that there's a big bin filled with stuff, and then they go grab a random item and throw it in your order. Sorry.
It's a mystery.
Let's see. Someone asked for a shout out, Frank. Is that all right there?
How do the shout outs work?
I Bob did this little snap thing and point.
Well, I'm not Bob.
However you want to do a shout out, man.
Okay.
He's asking you for
Well, J Monkey, shout out. I guess.
Ghost Airsoft, sorry about that. There's a bit of delay on that end.
Answer our questions on YouTube.
Yeah, no, we got to his questions. So,
Did we?
yeah, that was the mystery gift question. On my ASG M40 Sportline, the front two screws are stripped and I can't get into the gun and change out the piston and spring. What do I do? You're the handy tech. He stripped his screws trying to pull out of his body on the ASG M40. What do you think? I mean, on that.
Get into the gun to change out the piston spring. What should I do? It's one of the receiver.
I would assume it's one of the receiver screws. I'd say get an easy out.
Those screws should actually be big enough where you can just use a screw extractor.
Yeah.
You can probably get them at like any hardware store like Home Depot. It's this little kit that has different sizes, and you basically, it's kind of like a weird reverse drill bit that kind of bites into what's left of the screw, and you can actually back it out.
Yeah. Website said I can get a $10 gift certificate for ASGI when I order ships. You should be emailed that the night your order ships. So if it ships out today, you'll get it tonight at like 11:59. Learn that in CS. If you don't get it after it ships, contact customer service. Their number's on our website.
Yeah. Or check your junk mail, right?
Yeah, check your junk mail too. That sometimes it ends up in your spam folder too. Would you rather fight 20 Glock size AR-15s or one AR-15 size Glock?
Huh?
If it's an AR-15 size Glock, I don't know.
20 Glock size AR-15. How's that even possible? This is not Glock sized.
That's a good question.
Let's see. One AR-15 size Glock. Well, the question is, what round are they shooting?
Yeah, is it shooting a 5.56 or is it shooting a 9? Is it shooting a 45 or some other weird pistol caliber?
If they're both shooting 9.
Yeah, there you go. Colton, IB Airsoft just said you can get it on Home Depot or Amazon for under $10, so that shouldn't be an issue finding that. Frank will CA make a new M110. So we actually did a video on this. We did a video on this around Christmas time.
We are, yeah.
Coming with an ECS system, right?
Yeah, it's actually on the way back from Fox Airsoft. I was out there last weekend. But yeah, we have the prototype ECS gearbox for those. So a little later on this year, the M110s and SR25s will come with ECS.
Awesome. How long does it take to get stuff from there to Wisconsin? Wisconsin shipping time is like 4 to 5 business days, somewhere around there?
4.
Yeah, there you go.
4. Let's see. AUG and MP5. Nope. MP5. You're gonna have to talk to the guys over at Elite Force. They're gonna murder me if I bring those back. And the AUGs, you're gonna have to talk to the guys over at ASG. They're gonna murder me if I bring those back. So no, we probably won't be reviving those.
Rip.
Yeah.
X9 FPS, like 360,
It was
right?
360 to 370.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then which spring to get it, 2 or below 350? Spring to drop this. It'd be a 100 spring, right?
Probably a 100 spring.
Okay, there you go.
Because I think it has a 110 spring in it.
Okay. Let's see here. That's pretty much all the questions on YouTube. Anything else on IG? We're running a little late here, so we'll go and wrap this up. Okay, last one then, because y'all aren't asking questions. Elite Force 1911 or Elite Force Glock 17? Can't really. I mean, what do you prefer? 1911 versus.
I'm a 1911 guy, so it's gonna be a 1911. Yeah. But I'm a Glock guy second. So.
I shoot both. Best LMG on the market right now, either Classic Army 249s or the PKPs. But we.
249s. Yeah.
It depends on what you're into. If you're going Russian.
Micro gun? It's not really an LMG, but
it's technically not a. Yeah, it's technically not an LMG.
But you pull the trigger and a bunch of BBs fly out. So.
There you go. A&K M16A4. Don't even waste your money on A&K.
Buy Nemesis.
There you go. Joe Monkey asked, "What's your take on the Action Army sniper system?" I know you commented on them earlier.
The Action Army sniper system, their new rifle that can't be sold in America. I think it's nice, but I've had experience with Classic Army, and even before we were working with them pretty closely. So I actually like their parts. You know, you don't have to pay the exuberant Japanese prices. You know, they don't look as pretty, but they operate just as fine. You know, that's the major difference.
Yeah, I had a Action Army 40K motor in one of my older AEG builds, and that thing ripped.
Yeah, but I
absolutely
mean,
ripped.
as far as like the sniper parts, there hasn't been an Action Army part that was built, you know, that couldn't do, you know, just as well or if not better than, you know, a Laylax part that costs what double the price sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
All right, absolute last question. We got to go after this one. What is your favorite gun? Now, favorite gun all time. You know, it doesn't have to be one of your current products. It doesn't have to be one of your custom builds. What is your absolute favorite gun?
Old Reliable, which is actually one of the reasons why. I mean, I've been asked, right? Why take on Classic Army, right? Because you know, the brand needed a lot of work, and the reason being is my what I call Old Reliable is actually a almost 15-year-old Classic Army M15A4 that the only thing stock in it was the gearbox and the switch assembly, but everything else pretty much, and the bushing, but everything else pretty much got switched out. But that was a different era back then. You know, those guns, you know, you pay about $325 to $350 for a full metal base M4, and we would spend another $300 to $400 in
on a TM and just to move the.
Well, no, not even TM, just on parts. So at the time it was Gbbr, Sistema, and a couple other janky little brands. You know, so yeah, you buy a gun for $300. If you want to upgrade it, you were in it for another $300, you know, worth of upgrade parts. And that was just the way Airsoft was back then. You know, the factories back then weren't building in, you know, all the durability upgrades and all that stuff into the, you know, the gun out of the box.
Yeah, now you can go get a metal M4 for under $200 now.
Yeah, but that gun is my favorite because that's where I kind of like figured out and learned how to work on airsoft guns. Was really on that Classic Army M15A4. So it's all reliable.
My favorite gun, probably my Toka Marui Next Gen Recoil Shock. Spent a fortune on it just to get the base gun. Spent a second fortune to upgrade it. Pretty much what he did, because there's only like 2 companies in the world that make parts for it, unfortunately.
And the company that makes the better parts, in my opinion, actually doesn't do parts anymore, which is actually kind of disappointing.
What company is that?
Magic Box.
Magic Box does not make parts anymore. Yeah. Rest in peace, Miracle Barrels.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Miracle Barrels. But, and then Ghost Airsoft, go ahead and shoot us a DM on IG. We'll go ahead and get you taken care of with your order. I can't discuss orders online, especially during a live show. So,
how are we gonna make that? Yes, I will make Classic Army great again.
All right, thanks for. Oh, jeez, you dropped everything.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so we'll go ahead and tune out here.
I think we need to end it there.
Yeah, we'll end it there. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out our mystery boxes. Any order you place online will get you a free mystery gift. Thanks again, Frank, for joining us in the studio.
Welcome.
See you guys on the next one. Bye, IG. Let's go ahead and end that there. And then goodbye, YouTube there.